Thank you so much for your time, for being a part of the ABP Live Smart Ed Conclave. This panel is titled Aligning Academic Curriculum with Industry Needs. Now, we all know that industries are evolving at lightning speed, and our students, our education system also needs to keep up. And I think we have an exceptional panel today to talk to us about how are the students getting ready. So I'm going to start with my first question. Ma'am, I'll start with you. Are we currently doing enough to equip the students for future jobs? I'll come to the question straight.
Okay, thank you very much. I really feel that the future of jobs is totally different from what it is today. In fact, this future is very, very uncertain, and especially with the advent of AI and all, the future jobs are going to change. And when we see the products from the universities, very few universities are sort of amending the curriculum to suit the future jobs. Very few universities are having the capacity building of the teachers as well as students to ensure that they are employable. And funding is, of course, a big concern. So it is a very, very important topic, and the universities have to really exert in changing the curriculum, in, say, introducing internships, apprenticeship. Now the government has introduced the apprenticeship embedded programs. Internships has been made compulsory in each and every program under the National Education Policy. The curriculum changes, they are going to take, I am from Association of Indian Universities, and we do have a collaboration with CII. We call it 100-100 initiatives, means 100 universities to collaborate with 100 industries, means one industry with every university, so that the students come to know what's happening in the workplace. So they have to be prepared, and for preparing them, there has to be a strong alignment between the university and the industry, which ought to be there, which is beginning, but a lot needs to be done.
Supratim sir, we were talking about this backstage as well. We understand there's a gap when it comes to the academic, the curriculum, and the industry needs. What can be practically implemented to bridge this gap and making our students industry ready as they study?
As ma'am said, what universities need to do is set up formal and structured partnerships with industry leaders. And that must go beyond the recruitment drive, and that must include having industry specialists in the curriculum committee of the universities in order to make sure that what is being taught has a real-time alignment with market demands.
Correct. So theoretical knowledge needs to have an understanding of what the practical world is as well. And getting more industry experts to help us with the curriculum will help?
Absolutely. Not only that, universities must also at the same time continue to engage with industry, conduct surveys, find out what are the skill gaps that exist, and quickly turn around and rapidly deploy modules in the curriculum which addresses those skill gaps. It's a dynamic environment. We cannot let a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year lag in these if we have to ensure that our graduates are ready for the workforce.
Dr. Saikat, I'd like to ask you, currently, what are those skills that industry is demanding from the graduates? What are those skills that we're providing, and where are the gaps that we're not able to fill?
Now gap is existing in various fronts. Particularly, if we look into this industry demands now, most of these industries, they are relying on applications of artificial intelligence, data analytics, and all these upcoming and emerging technologies. The thing is this, we need to develop very robust ecosystems, and for skilling of our the student community, and for that ecosystem development, not only industry, we need to integrate our different research laboratories as well. There are many research laboratories under Government of India, under this different this is CSL labs, DRDO labs, and all these things, and they have enough facilities. Now we know that in coming days, this emphasis is given on chip development in India, but that how to go for skilling our students in fabrications of these chips and all these things, that is a challenging aspect, and that's why we need to integrate many centers or research laboratories where these sorts of facilities existing, because all on a sudden, establishment of all sorts of these facilities in academic institutes, in universities and colleges, that is an uphill task. And number two is, you see, AI is, now people are talking about AI, and it is not only AI, this is large language model and artificial general intelligence. And applications of this in real life scenario for case studies and all these things, and how to make it is as a, this practical application. This is one thing. But more importantly, in coming days, another thing is coming up, which we need to take preparation from right now, that is quantum computing. And that is going to disrupt further all of our, this existing scenario. And that is one step ahead of AI. And this is the futuristic skill and upcoming skills. Maybe within a quickest possible time, we need to upgrade our skill. Not only, this reskill, but also skilling them with these futuristic technologies and all these things which can come up. This is very much required. And industries are there. I have seen that industry academia partnerships is happening at different universities, at different education institutes, but more serious efforts is required. Fund is a constant, already is being told, that is one of the thing, and we need to, send our many faculty members to countries or to places where these sorts of technologies existing and where these sorts of facilities are existing. For example, if we talk about quantum computing in India, this establishment of this quantum computing facility is not existing. IBM has their own facility, so we can send maybe a handful of our academic community to get a proper training and learning over there, and coming back to this place for disseminating these sorts of these skillings and all these things for our students. So this ecosystem development is very much required. It's happening, but this rate of this progress, this is to be accelerated.
The rate of growth, the rate of change has to
it needs to be accelerated very fast.
Absolutely. Dr. Neeraj, you're the Pro-Chancellor of JIS University, and university offers a set of academic programs. Now I want to understand, how do you balance theoretical learning with practical knowledge? How has the university implemented this?
We are no different from other universities. But what I personally feel is that you cannot educate adults in the settings that we have. First step that we should take is to stop examinations.
Stop examinations?
Yes.
Well, this is an interesting point.
Because adults do not learn by memorizing whichever examination test. So if you release them from this burden of examinations, they are going to be creative. We have Bloom's taxonomy, and at the topmost level of that is evaluation and creating. And all our adult learners in colleges and universities spend their time sitting at the bottom of that taxonomy. They spend their time memorizing and long essays of 15 pages and writing them to just show their capabilities to reproduce that.
Which is such an important point, because if the student is busy just memorizing courses and points, they're not really focused much on practical learning.
The classroom of adults is not in the campuses, it is outside. They learn only when their minds are challenged, and if we allow them or pose them with challenges, it is then they learn and make useful contribution to the society. And as academic community, we are all opposing this, but AI is going to make drastic changes, and higher education with AI would mean no curriculum, no classrooms, and no examinations.
Well, that will be a very interesting way of looking at things.
Professor Saikat indicated about another technology, which is quantum. And that it's a technology which is going to support another technology which is called brain-computer interface. And that would be end of learning.
So
we are heading towards that.
So when we talk about creating students who are industry ready, technology has to play a huge role, and
Yes.
universities have to adapt to this
Right.
technological change,
Yes.
to the new tech.
A fundamental change in the last 1000 years that we see now is that it is knowledge which is not the currency of higher education anymore. It is experience. So the entire structure of education has to be rebuilt with experience in mind. That means even your board of studies, your deans, everything has to change. At least I can foresee that.
It's quite a drastic suggestion.
I'm trained in technology foresight, and I can see that unfold in next 10 years.
I would love to get the panelists' opinion on this as well. Dr. Soma Goha Malik, I would like to ask you, we're talking about this, and what Sir said is quite controversial, quite drastic. Do you agree with a university or academic curriculum which has no examinations?
See, what I'll add is, I'll give an example. So in class 11 or 12, in science, we studied that when electricity passes through a helical structure, which is a coil-like of thing, it can transform into a magnetic energy. So this we all have studied, right? Like when I was in my class 11, I studied this thing, but I never had a vision. Like, okay, fine, I understand. I have to go and give it in my examinations. That's it. I think that's where he comes from. But recently I saw a video, an interesting video. We are talking about this conclave is also about, smart ed, or we are talking about a smarter world. So when we come to this, yes, AI is there, plays an important role, also the other forms of technologies, but we are also talking about, we should also talk about green energy, which is very much crucial and required. So what I saw that an electric vehicle, which is already there, but we need to charge it, to run. Yes, we can get rid of petrol or diesel, but we can also get this electricity to charge it. But what I found that roads are being built on which if those EVs are, or I saw a lane on which an EV going and it's automatically charging. So that is by this particular helical structure underneath those roads where electricity is passing, and it can transform into magnetic energy, and while traveling the cars are getting charged. So you'll be never out of electricity, your EVs are. Now if a student at this particular age are given, I'll say, some taste of how these technologies or whatever they are learning in their curriculum, be it technical, be it non-technical, someone who is interested, say, in arts or maybe good in drawing, if that person at an earlier stages, maybe in their during graduation days, exposed to such technologies while studying, I think that will be a huge boost in their learning, and they can more, I'll say, they'll open their doors to accepting those form of studies or technologies rather than just reading textbooks. And to ensure this, I think if whether examinations should be there or not, I am not the right person, to say this. But of course, what I feel, so the entire curriculum, they should be very much be focused on doing small projects. Continuously, they should be doing small projects, be in whatever semesters or whatever levels in their education they are in. Small projects are the keys through which they will be learning the technologies, they will be learning how to work as a team, and they can, open their minds. And that is how one can be a good learner.
Absolutely. Practical knowledge is very important, not just at university level, but at a junior level or a high school level as well. Dr. Pankaj, you are the Secretary General of AIU, which is Association of Indian Universities. You oversee university level education across India. So you'll be the right person to ask, what steps is AIU taking in implementing these gaps and making students industry ready?
So what AIU, first of all, is not a regulatory body, it is a facilitating body. Like UGC is a regulatory body which works like a father, sort of disciplining or monitoring the students or the universities. We are a facilitating body which works like a mother, which is hand-holding the universities, which is helping the universities. So in our mother's role, we are doing a lot, especially in the capacity building of teachers. For example, when it comes to using technology for teaching, learning, research and governance, we have opened AADCs, that is Academic and Administrative Development Centers, where we are regularly having the programs, something like 100 programs we have had so far, in which the capacity building of teachers is there. Because if they want to use industry, if they want to say teach as per the revised curriculum using the technology, where is the capacity building being done? So at AIU we are doing the capacity building, we are doing even the, for example, we are doing one tomorrow and one we did earlier, master classes for the Vice Chancellors on artificial intelligence. Because unless the Vice Chancellors know how to use the AI for the university betterment, they will not be able to implement it in the universities. So we are doing master classes for AI on Vice Chancellors. Similarly, a lot of capacity building programs are done. We have done many reports also, implications of AI on higher education. One of our Vice Chancellors' conference, full year, 6 conferences was on how to implement national education policy. We are working on sustainability. So we are working on many aspects of national education policy and for providing quality, affordable education to the students. And through multiple ways, there are so many ways where AIU is working on this. And this is the largest university network in the world. And this year, we are going to be 100 years old. So our age is 100 years now. So we are facilitating the universities to march ahead. Thank you.
Now it's up to the universities to take it up as well. Supratim sir, I want to ask you, you're the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Sister Nivedita University. We understand that there are gaps that the curriculum needs to bridge those gaps. Now, how is Sister Nivedita University working on bridging these gaps? And what are those essential skills that you really think that students and teachers and universities need to focus on?
I'm glad that you asked about the essential skills, because we're talking of technology and etc. You see, everyone who teaches computer science at every university, students are learning artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, crypto, and cyber security and etc. That's standard. But what are the essential skills? So what we have done at Sister Nivedita University, and we are implementing it now, is the ADIRE framework. Okay? It's a 5-point framework where we emphasize on analytical ability to solve problems, digital fluency, intelligent interpersonal relationships so that people become good team members and leaders, resilience in order to be able to adapt to change, and ethical decision-making capabilities and abilities, because ethics has become even more important in this age of AI, crypto, cybersecurity. Based on that, in our next phase, what we are looking at, the skills that we want to build into our students is metacognitive skills. Coupled with that, research methodologies and self-driven learning capability. Because you see, you just don't want to prepare them for the first job. You want to prepare them for lifelong evolution of a professional career.
That is very important. That is absolutely right, sir. I want to ask the rest of the panelists, I want to ask about flexibility. We're talking about change, we're talking about implementing industry level, practical knowledge. How soon do you think we can actually implement this in our actual curriculum? There is a gap, we've established that, but how soon do we think we can change it?
No, if I can get you correct, you are asking how soon we can bridge the gap.
Yeah, we've established that there are certain gaps and universities have to start working on creating
basically, you see, there are many dimensions and aspects of these issues. Particularly, the skills, when we're talking about skill, it's not only the technical skills. There are other aspects of skills, like entrepreneurial skill, like these learning skills, social skills. All these skills are important. Now, right now, what is required now, what has emerged out of this discussion? Now, one panelist has opined that this importance of examination system is over. But you see, there should be certain methodology for validating the understanding of a learner. Now that already there are many steps is being taken at different these universities and academic institutes with the supports from regulatory bodies to do experiments with the curriculum. Now AICT is also mandated that to take up these internship programs in the form of short-term training programs in between semesters, starting from the first semester itself. And there should be more emphasis on project-based learnings and experiential-based learnings. And these types of learnings and ways of learnings, can generate a very effective, collaborative, and coordinated learning community. As I said earlier, for this integrating or imparting the technical skills, we need to develop ecosystems with all the existing systems which we have right now at this country in the form of these different industries, different research institutes, government setups, and all these things. And of course, there are to send some of our learners to outside also to get that skills and to come back with all these things. But having said that, it is being said, this gap or bridge, this is a dynamic thing. And what time scales we are watching this gap and bridge? If we think of this present times, the skill requirement, all these things, and if we try to bridge this gap, then tomorrow there may be another, these sorts of skill will be appearing, and again this gap will be developed. That's why it will be relentless and these continuous efforts. That's why curriculum revision continuously, frequently, and in different formats. This with the introductions of different electives and introductions of different, the short courses and all these things with the existing systems, and sometimes changing the course structures also with a at a periodic time interval. This is very much required. So gap and all these things, it is, this is a misnomer. This gap will always be there because we cannot say that what type of skill is going to come up tomorrow for disrupting the entire scenario.
Because the industry is also changing.
That's why, we need to keep on watch of what is happening around, and accordingly we need to, get ourselves prepared. So there are many things. Our pedagogical systems, our way of doing things, that needs to be changed, and at the same time, all this curriculum, all these things, that needs to be revised. All these things, to the best possible extent, we need to take up. That should be our this way of this handling our this academic management in the entire country.
Thank you. We've touched some very key points and we're running very short on time. So I'll have to end the panel discussion right now. But thank you so much for joining us, for your insights. Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you so much.